All right. Hello. Thank you for joining. This reading is for Scorpio. So I'm going with the theme that I've been doing for the past readings, which is talking about light work energy and shadow work energy. So I'm using the Oracle of Hidden Worlds for the light work energy. And for the shadow work, we are using this deck. I don't know how to say that. It's basically like the underworld. All right, so to start off with, the first card that we have here is... where is it at? Oh my gosh, why does this look so weird? Did I mess with... Hold on a second. Just make sure I can see all the cards. Okay. I was actually recording and my alarm went off and just stopped the recording. So that was fun. So the Path of Gods says decisions, meetings, future plans. And then down here we have number 12, The Secret of Camelot, the Authority of Spirits. So this first card here talks about, let me see, it says, walking my path is a divine opportunity to create change in the world. This is a place where gods dwell, meet, play, enjoy, debate, and decide. This is also a place where you might find light beings such as fairies. So this is talking about being out in nature, being connected with nature. This is also an in-between place because this is a place where the gods meet, where they decide and debate whether they're going to be introducing some new material or some new ideas into the human / 3D world, or if they're going to continue to allow it to be veiled at this point in time. And of course, that's all with the ideas of not being in control, but of trying to do like, what's the saying? You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. So like, it's basically debating and deciding whether the world is ready for what you're trying to present, if it's going to be perceived, if it's going to be successful, because otherwise there's no point in trying to release it and make it known to people, because this is a mission of like sharing the knowledge that you've acquired thus far, and by participating in this type of energy. And the reason why you're privy to it is because you're really, truly connected with your, the other parts of you, source, your higher self, however you want to explain that. Anubis, sir, please stop it. It's just a shirt hanging out of the closet. It's not a monster, okay? I love you, sweetie. Sorry. So this might be talking about things that are happening when you're asleep, in your dreams. It could also literally be talking about, especially when you're in nature and you see things or experience things that don't really make any sense, especially when it comes to like the idea of physics. And what you've always been taught is how the world is and the way it works, but then these weird things happen and you're like, oh, okay. So it's like you've been on a long path to get you to this point where you're in it to win it. Like, you are not debating what you're seeing anymore. You're just going with it. You're not debating what you're feeling anymore. You're just going with it. You're not debating what you're experiencing. You're just going with it. And at this point in time, it's not really a choice of whether you're going to go with it or you believe it. It's more like, who can you share it with so that someone else can experience it too? And you're not just going to do that with any other Joe Schmo. You're going to try and do that with somebody that would receive the information. Otherwise, there would be no point. And then with the Ace of Swords here coming out, this card shows somebody standing with these treacherous mountains to the back of them. So it's like almost like a threat or a promise of something dangerous, but it's also in the distance and not able to reach you. Like, in fact, you are raised up to just as high of a plane as those mountains, if not higher, and completely untouchable. So this is talks about you being protected, and also talks about your victory with that eagle and the eagle, the victory wreath there, the laurel wreath, and you holding the sword of truth. It's just whatever it is, when you're going into it with this intention of whatever it is you're doing to help. You're not doing to see what you can gain. You're not doing it for lackful reasons. You're doing it because you want others to experience the joy that you experience and the connection that you experience, especially when it comes to spirit and nature. But there is some type of conflict here. There is a conflict because this person, the Five of Pentacles, has everything he can need or want on a physical level, but he's in turmoil, upset about something, feeling guilty about something, and he's not doing anything about it. And I think what it's saying is you've come to the point where you can no longer be in that energy, that when you find yourself in circumstances where you're the only one that you thinks this way, and you're the only one that you've known to talk this way or to have these ideas, you're being placed in those circumstances strategically by the debates that you're having in the, like, when you're over here having these debates and these gathering information and like deciding what you're going to disclose and what you're not going to disclose, you're being strategically placed by your own agreements to be in these environments and to be around people that, whether they realize it or not, are ready to receive what you're trying to put down. But it's still going to be a shock to their system. It's not going to be easy. It makes you feel like an outsider sometimes. But it's with a purpose. It's called light work. It's not easy. Doesn't matter how good it might feel. And with this card here, which is interesting because there she is, the Lady of the Lake. She's also holding the Sword of Truth. Sword of Truth here. And for this one, I'm just going to grab the book because there was so much with this card that was kind of mind-blowing. That kind of goes back into what I was talking about here with this sacred mission that you're on. So it says, indicates you will soon be having important talks and conversations with those who are authority figures. You are the mystic, the one who has the spiritual perspective and the mission to share the mysteries with others. You are taking that pure spirit into the place that most needs it. You are the undercover agent, the one who enters the world to hold up the gift of truth, the Sword of Truth. The shining sword that is authenticity, the integrity that cuts through the politics, even in circumstances that seem to care nothing for the ways of the light worker. Know your work has meaning, your gifts have purpose, for the ripple effect of your actions, your words, and your presence will be felt for many years to come. And then it says, illumination, I enter the world of the people to hold up the truth of the spirit. So you chose this physical life for this mission. This is what you're here for. And this is further driven home here with the High Priestess. The High Priestess This is showing a side. So the outside is like she's standing guard of the temple, and only those that are initiated are able to enter. You have been initiated. You are in the sacred place. There are two keys there. One is the key of the spiritual knowledge, and one is the key to the knowledge of the physical. You have made it to the inner sanctum. You are. This is again talking about like this meeting place. Only those that are able to enter can enter, and your frequency has to match that. And this card here, with it being in the reverse, this is talking about understanding that what is considered woo-woo or wishy-washy or spiritual or supernatural, and then 3D, like you understand the difference of those things, but you also understand what's real and what's fake about both of those things. That there are misconceptions and illusions about both of those things, and you're able to spot it because you have the ability with the sword of truth and your authenticity and the work that you're doing to be able to you can't be, again, I talk about that here, like not being able, like you're untouchable. And like really the only turmoil that you'll experience in this journey is your own self-doubt and your own 3D quote unquote demons that you have to deal with being here in the 3D. It's very heavy. It can be stifling. It can be discouraging, and it's not easy. It's difficult, but this is the path that you chose. And the only way you could have chosen this path is if you were initiated on the spiritual side anyway, to be able to do the work. So that's for the light work here. And the shadow work, we have Osiris. This says God King of Duat, and Duat is the name of this underworld in this oracle deck. And it says commitment, acquisition, responsibility. And paired with that is Hathor, mistress of harmony, meditation, communication, and culture. So Osiris was the one who started this whole Duat situation. He literally created a home for the lost souls and those that would hear his message. And his message was, come with me and I will take you to this place where it will be, an oasis, and it will be wonderful, and it will be much better than where you are. And he did that. He did that in this world, and he created a place where of learning and growth and protection, and that is his duty. That is his commitment to. The only way you can be a king is if you are ruling over people and they are following you. You're not necessarily ruling because they fear you, but ruling because they look up to you and look to you for guidance. Look to you for your knowledge, because you have shown that you have great knowledge, especially when it comes to what we have here with culture and the arts. It's funny because this card, she's the goddess of love and dance, and this card here talks about letting it be a dance, letting it flow, allowing and letting it be effortless. Not if it's something that you have to put too much effort in, then find a way to make it so that it flows. That doesn't mean give up on it. It just means find a different way to make it work. And that's being talked about here. So again, here it says God King, the path of the gods. this card also talked about having talks with not only people that are ready to hear it, but people that maybe are hearing it for the first time. People that actually have the position and the authority, like a king, to make changes. And maybe you are in a position like that. Maybe you have found yourself in a position where you do have people looking to you to lead them and to point them in the direction where they will prosper, and they'll have community and and it's not just even community, it's like, flourishing, thriving. So let's see, to further explain Osiris here, we have the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Swords. This is a zombie tarot. So the Knight of Cups to me is always like talking about like fuckboy energy for me, and like not here for a long time, but here for a good time. And he's definitely there for a good time. He's living his best life, got his favorite snack in his hand, and he's surfing, and he's like flexing, and he's like, yeah, look at my yellow look at my yellow swimming trunks here. So you're definitely not afraid to show out and show off. This is almost like talking about it being effortless, right? He's like just like literally posing while he's surfing, and he's also dead, so rigor mortis is probably setting in, but he's still doing it. I think that's important to consider when you consider the role of a king. The role of a king is not only just somebody that people look to and follow for leadership, but they're also somebody that has to uphold a certain image and have demand the respect that comes with a position of being in charge in that way. So I think this might be talking about some of the shadow work that needs to be done, is maybe work on your image a little bit. And with it being paired with the Seven of Swords here, I think it's also saying that maybe you're a little bit too cutthroat. You're a ride or die for the right person, for sure. But for this mission that I think this is talking about is just asking you to do some work on yourself, where we know you don't care what people think about you, dear Scorpio. Trust and believe, we know that. But you can't have, you gotta consider the spiritual PR campaign, shall we say. If you give people reasons to hate you or distrust you, then that's what they're gonna do. And that doesn't by any means mean to be fake. I think it just means you can still be real AF, but you don't have to like be so short with people. Scorpios might tend to, especially when their patience is tested, tend to lash out. I think this might be saying to like just really do some work on yourself, where you can find a balance between the two, of letting people understand that if they don't like you, you're cool with that. Just like if they like you, you're cool with that. It's not a problem either way. But sometimes, Scorpio, like when people test you, you go really hard, and it might be a little much. And especially like, I don't know, like I get like a petty vibe from this guy here. Maybe chill out a little bit with that. Definitely incorporate some meditation. Find some techniques, maybe some breathing techniques, when people are trying you, because you fully know what you're capable of, being the king here, Osiris. Okay, Osiris is immortal. I don't know if you know the story about Osiris, but like they tried killing him and he just kept coming back. They cut him up into a bunch of pieces and spread him all over Egypt, and his loyal subjects, his wife, gathered all the pieces and put him back together again, like Humpty Dumpty. You know what you're capable of. Like, even when all odds are against you, you will have the patience to find a way to make it work and to get it good again. But like in the process, you know, try to be a little bit nicer. Try to be a little bit nicer. And also communicating your feelings and your thoughts, even when you just feel like you don't have the energy, is important, because it's really easy for people to be misunderstood, especially if they're not communicating what's really going on. So then, to further explain Hathor here, Mistress of Harmony, we have the Hermit card in the reverse and the Page of Hazards coming out in the upright. So yeah, I think this is definitely saying it's time to come out of your shell. Which this is going to be hard for you, because I think it's like, even though you're like this status of like you've been through so much shit and like you are unstoppable, untouchable, and like badass, right? And like the people that ride for you, you ride for them like so hard, but it's like now you're kind of being asked to approach things a little bit differently, to do things in a way that you normally wouldn't, which is going to cause you to be uncomfortable in certain situations where normally you're not, because this is a part of growth. That's if you're not uncomfortable, and you're not challenging yourself in some way, shape, or form, like, what are you doing? And the page talks about somebody who's just kind of inexperienced. But this particular page, he wants to deliver some he's a paper boy, right? And he just wants to deliver some news, but he just doesn't have a brain in his head to like make it work. So it's like he's got an idea, and he's done some of the work. He's dressed for it. He's got the newspaper. He's got the bags, but he doesn't even realize that he's chained and can't move anywhere. He's just like literally like SpongeBob, like, I'm ready. So with these coming out, I feel like this is saying that I think that's going to be part of your frustration here, of challenge yourself to not revert back to your old ways of like, the fuck I care, like what you got going on or what you have to say or what you're doing. Like, I don't need you. I don't want you. Like, I'm fine over here by myself. Like, you got to come out of that solo mode. It's time to start collaborating and start working with people that are doing the same things you are, with other gods. Okay, so let's do final messages. Final messages and advice for Scorpio. I'm going to just pull from vice versa deck. Let's see. Do we have any final messages for Scorpio? Final messages and advice for Scorpio. This is why I pre-pull. This is just annoying to me. Okay. What do we got? These both came out sideways. The Sun card and the Queen of Pentacles. When these cards come out sideways, there's some type of a challenge with this energy. So the challenge, I'm getting, like, this is final messages and advice, and I'm hearing like you don't think that you're this Queen of Pentacles, but you actually are. So this is like Virgo energy here, and Hermit is Virgo energy too. Here again we have a hawk. Let me put this in a bird, another bird of prey that has high sight and perspective. It's also a messenger, very connected to the earth. And yes card means that, like, yes, like winning, like sunflowers talk about abundance, and this is male energy, like that of the king here. I feel like because you don't see yourself as somebody that maybe is financially, even though I feel like you are, I think it might just be your perspective, intertwined with like the way the financial systems are currently, like feeling like unsure about your financial status and like your ability to gain wealth. But I think that once, for me, what these cards are saying is once you, the shadow work is usually the really challenging part, because the shadow work is the stuff that you join in the 3D, and this light energy is like the stuff that you're doing emotionally, internally, or on the etheric dream type tip. So I feel like you already are there on the etheric. The work that needs to be put in is in the physical, and you're already here too in the physical. You just need to realize it, that wealth comes in many forms. It doesn't have to be money. There is wealth in nature and in land and in the knowledge of the land and nature. Knowledge makes you very abundant because you can find yourself in situations where other people wouldn't know what to do or how to survive or how to make the situation beneficial, but you will. Like, realize that wealth comes in many forms, and it doesn't need to come from you working a job either. It could just literally come through a mix up in deliveries. I don't know, like you call, you're like, hey, I didn't get my package. And they're like, oh my God, I'm going to send you another one. And then they send you another one. And then like a month later, the package that was lost in the mail ends up coming to you. And you like call the company and you're like, hey, this came. You guys already placed it. Like, do you guys want it back or whatever? Like, you're trying to be like, you know, I don't want that negative karma. So I'm going to call them up and be honest. And they're like, no, keep it. Like, little things, like you could go somewhere to buy something and the clerk accidentally rings up a lower item twice instead of ringing up two separate items, and the lower priced item is what you're charged for both of them instead of the lower price and the higher price. Like, there's just literally so many things. And once you allow yourself to be open to that and really truly understand your worth and what you're capable of, which you do, but it needs to be brought into the physical. Again, unstoppable. The Sun card is yes, like winning, untouchable, so high, and pure, because your intentions are pure. Like, you're not doing what you're doing to like screw people over, and you really truly just want to be there and help and make a better world. Wow, that just like flipped over. It looks like she's watching the sunset. And look at all that abundance behind her. I just heard Turn Around, that one song that's old. Turn Around Bright Eyes, something like that. Every now and then I fall apart. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, when you feel like your back is against the wall, when you feel like you're out of options, when you feel like, you know, you're just defeated, stop, meditate, take a breath, call a friend, communicate with somebody, do some you know, do a task that, you know, brings some type of stability to you. Like if you like to clean, I don't know, clean. If you know, I don't know, like puzzles, like whatever, read a book, like find something to center yourself, come back to it and see things from a different perspective, and you'll see that you had everything you needed all along. You just had to get out your own way. Okay, and that is my reading for Scorpio. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope that it resonated with you in some way, shape, or form, and that it was helpful. And if you made it this far, please go ahead and give a like to my video if you want to. And if you don't want to miss any of my content, please subscribe. I don't post too often. I post when I feel called to. It helps it not feel like it's, you know, such a responsibility, and more like something that I do for fun or for culture, you know. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you or hear from you in the future stuff that I post. All right, thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.